Hi, I hope you're having a great day and I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Well, today I want to talk about, homeschooling's big all over the world right now. And of course, a lot of people have moved from office to work from home. And I think one of the biggest worries right now, especially for children, is the excess screen time. Especially young kids who have just entered school, even they have screen time. So, we're constantly flooded with queries from anxious parents. Will they lose their eyesight? Is there going to be a permanent damage with the amount of homeschooling and the increase in screen time? So let's break a couple of myths today and also understand simple things that you can do so that you can help your children maintain the health of their eyes. And this is also applicable for adults who are constantly in front of the screen, working from home, in front of laptops, phones, and all of that stuff. So number one, there is no research. We shouldn't have to really worry. Screen time isn't going to get your child blind. It isn't going to damage their eyes, except if they already have an underlying eye condition. If they already have a serious eye condition, damaged retina, then more screen time is going to increase the progression and the degeneration of their eyes. So that's one case. The second is, of course, the overuse of screen time will do damage for sure. Now, what is the fine line between overuse and how much we should use? And that's what we're going to find out today. So right now, we should stop worrying. We have so many parents who are worried. I was a worried parent too, that, 3.5 hours of screen time, all of that stuff. But no, it's not going to damage your eyes if we do the right things. You see, there's always something that we can do to balance the side effects of something that may not be too good for us. So number one, screen time will not damage your children's eyes or your eyes unless you have a pre-underlying condition. And number two, if you abuse it, you abuse anything, you abuse good food, you have excess of it, it's a problem. You abuse your exercise, you overtrain, it's a problem. You oversleep, it's a problem. You overthink, it's a problem. So everything in balance. So what are some of the symptoms you should watch out for? Because a lot of young children who have never had this much of screen time may show certain symptoms, and we're going to tell you what to do about that. One is a lazy eye syndrome. So if you notice the drooping eyes of your kids all the time, you want to get it checked out for sure. Red eyes. If they spend a lot of time in front of the screen and their eyes are red and they have watery eyes, you know that they've had a little bit too much of screen time, and it's about time that you reduce it or you give them breaks in between it. Watery eyes and red eyes will happen if you're staring at the screen continuously. If you've not noticed it, notice it when you stare at the screen. You will blink less. If you blink less, that's a problem for your eyes. We tend to blink so that we moisturize our eyes. We produce, moisture and lubrication for our eyes. When we don't blink, we suffer from something called dry eyes. And dry eyes can make our eyes water more, and they can also make them red. That's what you need to look at. Eye fatigue. If your child is constantly, or an adult is complaining that my eyes are tired, they feel heavy all the time, that's something called eye fatigue. If they're constantly rubbing their eyes, they've had a little bit too much of screen time. Headaches and migraines. Sometimes when you have excessive screen time, it could be because the headache and migraine can be because of that. But headaches and migraines can also be because of deficiencies of vitamins, constipation, poor gut health, and a lot of other things. And if you notice your child squinting, if they're constantly squinting after they've watched the screen for a long time, these are signs that you may want to reduce the screen time, and of course check with your doctor. It's always good to check with your doctor. Now, if your kids wear spectacles, it's very, very important for them to continue doing it while they are on screen time. A lot of kids, a lot of adults in meetings and screen time, homeschooling, they want to take off their specs because they don't like wearing it. But please understand, if your doctor has asked you to wear specs, there's a reason they have. You will diminish your eye power if you consume screen time without wearing your spectacles. So if you have a number, you're wearing spectacles, please wear it when you're using screen time. Okay, regular eye checkups, also not right now because you can't go out, it's not safe for you. But if your child demonstrates or you demonstrate a lot of these symptoms continuously, okay, even despite the remedies I give you, then you want to surely get your eyes or your child's eyes checked up. Number two, if you're going to be looking at screen time all the time, it is also important to find a balance where your children look at natural light. So before they start their day at school, get them to look. If you have a balcony, good. If not, just open the windows and let them connect with the sun. If there's no sun, look at the bright light around. Natural light is a very, very good way to balance screen time and natural light. The problem with screen time is there's too much of artificial light, too much of blue light. So we got to constantly rebalance, so if you eat something bad, you balance it the next day by controlling your calories or exercising. The same thing with your eyes. So before they start homeschooling, let them spend time looking outside for even 2 to 3 minutes. Connect with the bright light. In between breaks as well. If they have a break, connect with light, even if it's for a minute or two. And after the screen time, after their homeschooling, connect again with bright light. That's very, very important. The screen in the room should never be in a dark room. You want to have a light behind, okay? You never want to have your child working in a room, or yourself working in a room at night with the screen on. That's the worst thing that you can do for your eyes. It'll increase the amount of eye fatigue and everything else. So make sure your room is well lit with either natural light or a light on behind. The next point, since they already have screen time because of homeschooling, you want to reduce their screen time post that. Now, when they were going regularly to school and when they come home, you give them a little bit of iPad time, screen time, that's okay. But today we know that there is an overconsumption of screen time. So if they are going to have homeschooling, you've got to really sit with your child and negotiate and reduce the screen time post-homeschooling time, so that the overall time, there is a reduction in the overall exposure of time. Okay, even how your child sits, okay, a lot of adults do this wrong. So teach your children how to do it. There should be at least a 25 centimeter, gap, distance between the screen and the child. And you want to have the child in line, the eyes in line with the screen. You don't want them to be on a low chair where they're looking up or they're looking down. So balance, their posture is important. If you see your child slouching like this in front of the screen, correct them right now. Because as an adult, you never change that, and that's why you find it difficult to change. But your child's posture and eyesight are both related. You can't be looking at a screen like this. So it is so important for you to maintain your child's posture by constantly reminding them. You don't have to shout at them, you don't have to hit them. By reminding them about their posture and keeping their eyes in front of the screen, that's a good habit that you will inculcate them in as parents, and do it for yourself as well. Okay, is there food involved? Absolutely. Absolutely. What builds the muscles around our eyes? Do you know your muscles have eyes? Well, if you don't know, you're going to find out when we do the exercise really soon. I'm going to teach you simple exercises that you can do today and your child can do. Simple, fun exercises. And when you do those exercises, you'll actually feel like a little pain around that. It's a nice pain, showing you that there is a muscle around all of that. And if you exercise that muscle, like every part of the body, it's going to be good for you. So what foods are great for the eyes, for prevention, as well as if you have an eye problem? Right now, someone's going to list it down for sure, and I'm thankful for that person doing that in advance. Beetroots, spinach. If you have dairy, then ethically sourced A2 milk or curd is great for the eyes. All citrus fruits are great for the eyes. Colored vegetables, your bell peppers, your purple cabbage. Remember, the rule for your plate needs to look like a rainbow. Your child's plate needs to look like a rainbow. If it doesn't look like a rainbow, they are deficient in vitamins and minerals. Okay, then you have carrots. If you eat eggs, the eggs with the yolk are excellent for the eyes. Almonds, pistachios, these are the best nuts for your child's eyes or yours. Asparagus, all the green leafy vegetables are great for eye health. All the cruciferous vegetables, that's your broccoli, your kale, your cabbage, your cauliflower, your radish, then your berries. In India, we have strawberries and we have gooseberry. Abroad, you have blackberries, blueberries, raspberries. All of the fruits in the berry family are excellent for your eye health. You have pumpkin. Pumpkin is just not great for your immune system, but for your eyes as well. So is sweet potato. Omega-3. Your child and you have to get omega-3 for the eyes. You'll find that in walnuts, you'll find that in flax seeds or fish oil, and all of that stuff, and grapes. So basically, all the foods I spoke about are brightly colored or deeply colored vegetables and fruits. When you think of your eye health, your immunity, inflammation, think of a rainbow plate. So if you can make your plates colorful with different fruits and vegetables, like I said, you're getting enough of nutrition for your eyes. Now, in case your child has eye fatigue, or they're scratching their eyes or rubbing their eyes or heavy eyes, you may want to put cucumber slices on their eyes post-screen time. That helps you reduce inflammation and really cools that. Even taking cold, keep a bottle of rose water in the fridge, and then on a handkerchief or in a thick tissue, soak it in ice cold rose water and slowly bathe the eyes. In case they have any of those symptoms, you can also use a tea bag. Where you take a black tea bag, put it in hot water, extract the tea from it, and then put it in the fridge. And put a cool bag on your child's eyes or your eyes to reduce the inflammation and to kind of reduce any irritation that you may see. Now, here are some of the simple exercises that you can do. One is eye rotation. we never really use this, and this is why screen time can get bad for us, because on a screen, we're constantly looking in one direction. Okay, in a classroom, you're probably looking everywhere else. So one is eye rotation. It may look weird. A lot of you would have done this in eye yoga, and we may actually do an eye yoga video in the next 2 to 3 days. So eye rotation, all you need to teach your child to do is close their eyes and think there's an imaginary clock in their head. So move the eyes from 12 to let's say from 12 to 12:15 to 12:30 to 12:45 and to 12 o'clock back again. So they close their eyes, or they can do it with their eyes open, and they look up and they slowly rotate their eyes all around 3 times each side, clockwise and anti-clockwise. When you do this 3 times, you'll find like a dull pain in your eyes. Those are your eye muscles, and if they hurt you with 3 reps, all the more you got to do it. Don't overdo it. 3 reps to 6 reps is perfect. That is one. Number 2 is the pencil or the pen test. All you need is a pencil or a pen, okay? And you hold it far away from you, full outstretched hand. And you look at the tip of the pen, okay? Stare at the tip of the pen, and then slowly, without removing your gaze from the tip of the pen, you bring the tip closer and closer and closer. As it gets closer, it gets more and more difficult, right up until you can't see it anymore. And then move it back again really slowly. Do this about 3 to 6 times, and you'll find a dullness in your eye muscles again. This is something that children love to do. The clock rotation as well as the pencil tip. This is brilliant. Okay, the next exercise is you want to get them to move their eyes from side to side. So what you can do is, even if you have a ball, you move the ball from one hand to another. So what happens is their eyes keep moving, which is why even playing a game, playing with a ball, the simple bouncing of a ball or catch keeps the eye coordination and the eye muscles working really, really well. Then eye blinking. Don't let your kids or you yourself stare at the screen too long. Every 20 or 30 minutes, turn away from the screen and blink. Hold your eyes closed and open them. Hold your eyes closed and open them. Look at natural light and do it. Don't look at the screen and do it. And every 15 to 20 minutes, blink. Okay, you could just teach them to blink like a butterfly. Don't look at the screen and do this. When you do that, you don't have dry eyes anymore. When you rapidly blink like a butterfly, you produce tears automatically. So, teach your children these little things. And their 3.5 to 4 to 5 hours of screen time is not going to create a problem for them. But if they only consume screen time without doing these things in balance, they're bound to have problems with their eyes at some point. So like I said, playing with the ball, playing a sport, racket sport, all of this is great for eye coordination and for the eye muscles. Like I said, let me repeat, look at natural light in the morning, in the afternoon. Never look at the direct sun in the afternoon and in the evening. Another brilliant exercise if you have sunlight around you. Okay? Close your eyes and look in the direction of the sun. Don't open your eyes, and you'll see a yellow haze obviously, and you'll feel the warmth of the sun, and everything will be yellow. And when they open their eyes, look away from the sun, blink a couple of times. That is a fab exercise for the eyes. And the last exercise that you can do is every 15 to 20 minutes, look away from the screen and try to look at the farthest object, which is the object that you can see far away. Because you're so used to looking at the screen closely, now you want to change that sequence, you want to change that rhythm by looking at something far away from you and focus on the point. Get back to work, get back to homeschooling. So these are little things that you can do. A few more points. Blink every 5 to 10 to 15 minutes. Very, very important. Remind them until it becomes a habit and you do it too. Try to avoid looking at a laptop or a phone or reading a book in a moving vehicle. This is really bad for your eyes. Never do that. Never ever look at a phone, read, study when you're in a moving vehicle. Again, at night, try not to look at screens, especially your children homeschooling. Once they finish their homeschooling, they watch their television, post the sun setting, you want to try to avoid your child looking at screens. This will help their eyes rejuvenate. The same principle applies to adults if you can do it. But post sunset, you don't want to give them screen time. So organize their day in such a way that they do their homeschooling, they finish their TV time or their iPad time before sunset. And after sunset, no screen time. This is only because now at this time they have so much more exposure to screen time. Never, let me emphasize on this, never look at a screen in a dark room. Never do that. As an adult or as a child, the strain that you put on your eyes will be incredible. And like I said, the last point is your child's posture. It is so important for them to have a great posture, while looking at the screen, because it'll also prevent them cervical problems, spinal problems, pain in their shoulders and their trapezius. So get every 1 hour or 45 minutes, get them to stand up, touch their toes, do shoulder rotations, do a forward bend, 5 jumping jacks. This is something kids should do, and you as well, because you have eyes, they have eyes at the same time. So if you can do these simple things, I don't think we should be worried about homeschooling. Try to get them a bigger screen if you can. You know, a lot of people are studying out of phones, but if you have the ability, get them a larger screen. Okay, when you have a larger screen, it's better for your eyes. The smaller the screen, the worse it is. So don't get tensed about this. If you can keep these simple lifestyle changes and these nutritional tips in mind, okay, your kids are going to be fine. And if you do them, you're going to be fine as well. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep.